Well, hello everyone, good morning from Newcastle. In front we've just got the TUI Dreamliner, which is going off to Bridgetown. It was quite late arriving actually this morning from I forgot the airport that it came from, but it was late. It was meant to land at about 9 o'clock, but it actually landed at about 5 minutes ago, so that was running a little bit late. We've also got a British Airways at the stand over there, which I believe will also be leaving soon. We've actually got an aircraft on final as well, and thanks to everyone who's joined the stream. Thanks for tuning in. So we have got an aircraft just on finals, so we'll have a little look at this. As he gets closer, I'll obviously zoom in. Looks like the lights are flashing left to right. Don't know if it's actually doing that or not. I think it actually is. Not entirely sure what aircraft this is. Might be a little private one. Sorry about the focus there, guys. It's just obviously it's hard to focus in when it's quite far out. Oh, they do flash left and right. I've never seen that before. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I think this one came from France. Paris, I think. He should exit at Foxtrot. Oh, that's actually really, really cool. He'll be going into the private hangar now, which is just past that tree line, and that's the only view we can get. We've actually got an Eastern Airways just parked up there. I'm assuming they might have brought the Newcastle players back from a football game, I would have thought, because they usually use that aircraft and they usually park there when they bring the Newcastle team. I'm not sure if that's actually leaving today at all. It might be, but if it is, I'm not entirely sure when. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the British Airways one. Let's have a little look. He's just parked up at the stand, just over here. Is there any stairs on it? I'm going to have a look on Flight Radar and just see if that British Airways is actually meant to leave at all. So bear with us just a second and I'll have a quick check. Hello Paul, hello Trev, morning. How are you all this morning? Are you all alright? And Hyphen, hello. How are you doing as well? So I've just had a little check there, and as it turns out, the British Airways A320, which is just parked up at the stand there, it was actually meant to leave at 9:30, and it's obviously now almost 11 o'clock, and it hasn't left, and there's no update either on the on-flight radar when it's actually scheduled to leave. KLM is also scheduled to leave at about 11:30, I think it just said. So hang around for those, because Emirates is also inbound. And now we've obviously got the Dreamliner heading off to Bridgetown at about 12:10 as well. And obviously with some aircraft running quite late, that'll obviously, well, it's quite useful, because that means that there might be some gaps, but then obviously with aircraft running late and stuff, hopefully the gaps won't seem as bad if they're all leave like at the new times. I was actually pricing the cost to go to Bridgetown actually this morning, just out of curiosity, and it was about £3,000 to go to Bridgetown for the 14 nights. So that was interesting to see. Well, to research anyways. Cheers for that. So obviously the British Airways will be running a bit late then, due to Heathrow fog. Well, there's no stairs either on the British Airways, so obviously I don't think anyone's actually boarded the aircraft yet, because obviously there's no stairs on it or anything. So obviously people must just be waiting inside the airport. I'm at the gate. And Emirates is on time this morning, so he's meant to be landing at about 11:20. Last night I was pricing the rates at like other airports in Scotland for Glasgow, and obviously all the airports around there. And to be fair, they weren't badly priced. So I think I might probably go down to Glasgow or something, or even go down to East Midlands, because I do like the cargo aircraft that go there. So that's on the table for the next, well, I'll probably plan to go there in the next month or so. It obviously just depends on the weather. Hopefully I'll try and book a weekend where the weather's nice and not horrible. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying just looking at the Dreamliner as we wait for some traffic to arrive and leave at the airport. So I do apologise that there's not much traffic compared to other airports, but in the winter it's usually quite quiet in Newcastle. In the summer it does get a lot more traffic, but as it stands there's not much traffic at the moment. But I do hang around for obviously the aircraft that are meant to be arriving and leaving. Hi, Paul, cheers. I mean, I've always wanted to go down to obviously that airport where there's been a lot of cargo and stuff. So that is on the tables. It's just trying to find the right weekend, because obviously the weather forecast just changes all the time and it's not reliable sometimes. So, and it would be a little bit, well, it wouldn't be so good if the weather wasn't that great. So that's something that I'm obviously going to be looking at. I've just seen a Ranger car drive past on the main road. Not entirely sure if it's normal for the airport actually. Well, I've not really seen one of the Ranger cars drive by before on the road with the lights on, flashing anyways. Usually I just watch them drive around the airfield. So that was the first just there for me watching that. So we've got a British Airways that's just came on the air radar there at Heathrow. So that obviously must mean that he's meant to be leaving Heathrow. So my guess is he'll probably arrive at Newcastle at about 12 o'clock, I would have thought. And then we've got Emirates that's due in at 12 minutes past 11. And we've also got another little private aircraft coming in at 11:40, and we've also got another aircraft due in at 11:26, and we've also got another aircraft due in at 11:45. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 5 inbounds in the next 35 minutes or so. So do hang around for those. And aircraft leaving the airport, we've got KLM, which is due to depart at 11:40, and obviously we've also got the British Airways A320, which I'm not entirely sure when that's leaving yet because of the fog. And then we've got Air France leaving at 11:30 as well. So quite a nice bit of traffic in the next half an hour, 35 minutes, which is nice. Just got the we've just got the Newcastle control tower just there. Hello Zane, welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for being on the chat there and joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone else as well who's also joined this morning. I'll zoom up in on the TUI just as I wait for Emirates to appear on the on finals just there. So I'll focus in on TUI. So yeah, Emirates is about a few minutes away now. Once I see the air light, I'll obviously move over to the aircraft. Yeah, there's still no movement of that British Airways aircraft as well. That's at the stand just over there, the gate. If I do see any movement obviously around the airfield, I'll obviously focus in on that as well. But at the moment we've only got the TUI aircraft that's obviously getting obviously loaded on with stuff, which will be heading off to Bridgetown, which is about 8.5 hours, I think. I think it's about I think it's about 8.5 hours anyways. And it'll be interesting to see how many people are going to Bridgetown. It's quite, well, it is very warm over there at the moment, obviously. Must be nice to going off to the nice warm weather. Well, from being in the cold. I can hear something just in the far bit of the airfield. No idea what it is, but if anything moves, I shall focus in on that. Thanks again to everyone who's joining the stream right now. Emirates should be approaching finals very, very shortly. Actually, I might say if there's a little bit of action going on at the TUI. Let's zoom in. It seems like I just loading the aircraft. Yeah, the ground team there doing a really nice job. For anyone who's just joined the stream, or the Emirates aircraft always comes to the end of the runway here in Newcastle, as it needs the full runway to actually slow down and stop. So that'll be a really nice close-up. And I can see Emirates on finals now, so I shall zoom in on him in just a moment when he's a little bit closer. Otherwise it'll not focus in on it with him being that far out, but I can see the lights. You can hear people in the background there shouting. I think it's from the sports club, which is just along the road there. It's quite a big sports field. There is a little aircraft just moving over there. I'm not sure if he's going to go straight out or hold short for the Emirates aircraft. So I'll zoom in on Emirates right now, as we wait for Emirates to touch down on the runway. That little aircraft is just there. If you can just see him, he's just there. So he's obviously holding short for Emirates. And you can probably just see the Emirates there. So I'll zoom in just a second when he's a little bit closer. Right, I can probably zoom in on Emirates now actually. Let's just all pray that it focuses nicely, otherwise I'll have to zoom back out. I think that looks focused to me. Well, no, it's not actually fully focused, but I'll have to do until he gets a bit closer, so apologies about that. I really do like these aircrafts. Really nice. It'll be interesting to see where Emirates parks up, because he usually parks where that Dreamliner's parked. So I'm not actually sure now where the Emirates aircraft is actually going to park. So I'll have to obviously watch that. I can hear another aircraft as well coming from the private hangars, so that must be another one going out once Emirates obviously lands. Yeah. Quite a lot of birds flying around actually. Spoilers down. Zoom in on the flight deck, just have a quick little look, see what's going on. Yeah. Sound of those engines, man. Absolutely lovely. Every time Emirates lands, I never know if I should like zoom up close or leave the full aircraft in frame. If anyone has like a specific view that they like of the Emirates aircraft, do comment in the chat, just so I know for future streams if people prefer like close up of the Emirates or if they prefer to see the full body of the aircraft. Do let us know your thoughts on that, because I never know which one to do. Zoom in so you can hear the engines a little bit better. He's probably going to park beside the Dreamliner now, isn't he? I've also got that aircraft that just landed before with, I think that's the aircraft on the runway. So I'll focus on him in just a second, once Emirates is fully at the gate. Yeah, there's still no movement of the British Airways aircraft, no stairs or anything like that. So the Emirates is parked beside the Dreamliner. Oh, that aircraft's actually taken off that way. He's not actually taken off towards us, he's taken off that way in the distance. He's taken off that way. I actually like it when they take off that way because obviously you can see the aircraft fully take off compared to if they're taking off this way, like towards us. That's the thing about Newcastle, with it only having one runway, they tend to use sometimes both ends of the runway for aircraft, especially if the wind is obviously not too bad. But as you can see, if they take off that way, I can keep the camera on it for quite a while. I mean, we might even see him turn. It's quite far in the distance now, as you can see. So that's that aircraft away. Oh, it looks like we've also got another aircraft taken off that way, which is quite nice for a change actually. Oh yeah, I really prefer it this way. Maybe they've changed runways altogether. I'll have to have a look, see if they actually have changed the runways or not. So bear with us and I'll have a look once this aircraft is out of range. Yep, he's turning. It's really far out now. Also, they're landing in front of us now because they has the aircraft behind. Yeah, this is better. Yes, this is a lot better. Yes. Thought it was getting a little bit noisy. Oh, this is a lot better now. Runway's in the right direction. Do comment in the chat if you obviously are enjoying the runway, this runway being in use compared to the usual on the usual streams. It's quite nice watching them land this way. And if I had known that, I would have actually went a lot further along so I could get a side view of the aircraft landing as well. But obviously I can't move all my equipment now, so I'll have to just watch it. I'll have to just watch it turn over. Well, not turn over, man. I'll have to watch it fly over. I've never seen that before, mind. Them land that way and then actually turn back around on themselves to exit the runway. Because they'll exit the runway there now, you see. Never seen that before. Just gonna have a quick check. Yeah, so the runways have actually changed. So that should be quite nice now. And like I was just saying, if I'd known, but obviously you don't really know when the runways change, especially at Newcastle, because they usually always use the usual runway unless the winds change, obviously. And then obviously the winds must have just changed, hence why they're using this runway now. So if I'd known, I would have been able to get a little bit of a side view of the aircraft before it actually lands on the runway. So apologies about that, but I hope everyone's enjoying the stream. So this aircraft would have came from Ireland, obviously. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in and watching the stream, really do appreciate it. I'll have a look in just a second to see the oh, sorry about that, to see the arrivals of the aircraft that are inbound. So it looks like he's going to be taxiing in there. And as you can see, this obviously tells the aircraft where to stop once the aircraft becomes in distance, unless it's doing it manually. I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, here it is. So it counts down, and then obviously when it gets to like 0, it'll then say stop, and then obviously the aircraft then knows to stop, which is obviously very useful, because sometimes they do obviously marshal them and stuff, but that's usually the big aircraft. But the little ones obviously say stop and okay, and there we go. so we've got that. So we have got that little private aircraft due in at about 11:45 now. Did say 11:30, but it's changed to 11:45. And obviously KLM is meant to leave at 11:40 as well. So that would be nice, and so that would be nice to get them obviously close up, taking off in the other way, anyways. So we have got some aircraft movement very soon again, so do hang around for that. And thanks to all of the new people that have just came onto the chat there, and who's obviously watching the stream, thanks for joining. This is obviously my local airport in Newcastle, for obviously new people that have just joined. So I usually bring 1 or 2 streams to Newcastle once a week, so I usually do that. And then obviously when the weather gets a little bit warmer, I'll be looking to do another airport around the UK, but I do plan to do a different airport in in a few weeks time, hopefully. Obviously that all goes on the weather, of course. If anyone would like a view of the Dreamliner, do obviously comment in the chat, and then I can focus in on that aircraft as well. Or if you're happy watching obviously this aircraft just in front, then obviously I'm happy to just leave it on that until we've got some movement, as I can't really see any of that movement around the airport at the moment until those arrivals, and obviously the aircraft taking off as well. So KLM at 11:40, hopefully that will be going out, because I think that's running late as well, which is quite useful for me, because obviously I started the stream a little bit later, and they were meant to leave before I started the stream, so it kind of works out well, because now we get to see a little bit more action. Obviously other airports in the UK, other busier airports get obviously quite a lot of traffic, but currently in the winter here there's not very much, unfortunately. But there are still there is still some nice traffic. There's usually the rush hour in the morning, and then the rush hour in the afternoon. So it's usually in between about 8, well, when I say rush hour I mean a few. It's usually in between 8 o'clock, usually 8 till 11, and then in the afternoon it's usually about in between 3 o'clock and 3:30. So obviously, because it's starting to get a lot more lighter now, hopefully I'll be able to do a few more longer streams, because it'll obviously be getting darker a lot later. And I think British Airways is on the move, because his beacon light has just actually came on, so that must mean the passengers must have already been boarded on the aircraft, because I've been watching it and no one's actually boarded the aircraft. So that means the passengers must have already been sat on the plane. So that'll be a nice close-up of the British Airways one taking off, which will be quite nice. So do hang around for that. That's absolutely fine, mate. I'll zoom in on the Dreamliner for you, and then when the British Airways moves, I shall focus in on that. And as for the Aer Lingus, very quickly, there are a few people obviously coming off the aircraft just there, but not a lot of people, but there are a little bit of people on it. So there's the TUI Dreamliner. That'll be heading off to Bridgetown very soon, at about 12:15. That is when it's actually scheduled to leave. And obviously when the British Airways one starts to taxi to the runway, I'll move the camera back onto that. So as you can see, they're just loading obviously they're just loading a few things onto the aircraft just there. And I've not actually seen anybody board the aircraft, and it seems like the stairs, it seems like they've just closed the door on the front of it. I mean, not entirely sure what they're actually loading on it. I mean, they are suitcases, but I've not seen anybody board, unless they were already on it by the time I started this stream. Maybe. So it seems like there was only a few people seems like there was only a few people on the oh no, there's quite a few there just coming off now, look. Yeah, so by the size of the aircraft, I think that probably would have been a full flight, judging by how many people's actually heading off the aircraft. So that's obviously nice to see. And we have got British Airways on the move, going back to London Heathrow, which isn't a long flight from here. It's about an hour, well, 45 minutes to an hour. And hopefully he does take off on the same runway that's just been in use. So I will say about that. Watch him not take off on the runway that they've just changed to, but it's changed back. That is literally about right. I think they've changed back. Yeah. Always going to go further down. No, because I've got another aircraft just there. I've got Air France in the distance there. So I've got them two aircraft heading out. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering why the runways have changed again, they tend to use, sometimes they use dual runways, which is obviously basically where they can use both ends of the runway, with there only being one runway here at Newcastle. And they do that quite often actually. Just an example, last night Ryanair landed in the opposite one, and then 10 minutes later another aircraft landed on the opposite side. So they use both ends of the runway. I think I'm saying that right. It's the only way I can really say it, to be honest. Yeah, so they use both of them. It's a shame that they're going back to the top though. Would have been nice to focus right in on them taking off for a change. So sorry about that. But it looks like they obviously are using this runway again. 25, runway 25. Of the aircraft leaving. The British Airways isn't actually too far behind either. He's just there. So I've got nice two aircraft there. But we'll be taking off. Zooming on that part of the runway just to get ready for Air France. British Airways one. You'll probably line up and wait, just as Air France obviously heads back out. Looks like there's a bit of mist or fog in the distance there. Thanks again everybody who's tuning in or have just tuned into the stream. I appreciate everyone who's watching, and I hope everyone's enjoying what they're watching. So cheers. Is British Airways holding, or is he going to go for it? Oh, no, he's going to go for it. Probably just a slow little roll onto the runway there, as he just so it gives Air France a bit more time to obviously head out of the airport area, and then he should just take straight off now, British Airways, because there should be enough space in between them. So he should just head straight out, hopefully. Yeah, it's always nice to see the Emirates aircraft. That flies to Newcastle mostly every day, and obviously the Dreamliners usually only come in the summer. But obviously that Dreamliner there that you've just saw is only operating like certain routes in the winter, and they're only doing like four flights, obviously with the return, so like 8 altogether technically. And then after that, the Dreamliners won't be back at Newcastle until obviously the summer starts, which will be nice to see, of course. Oh, sorry about that. In on the Dreamliner just there, and as I was just saying, that's only doing four flights to Bridgetown, and then obviously they'll be bringing everybody back, but they're only actually doing the 4 flights, and then after that they'll obviously be back in the summer again to do some other routes. I'm not entirely sure what they are yet. To be fair, that's alright. I mean, we usually get the RAF here at Newcastle. They do quite a lot of training here sometimes, and they do some circuits around the airport as well, and they do quite a lot of, well, they usually come, well, I would say at least, well, I think they come mostly every month, to be honest, and sometimes obviously they don't come, but usually they do come quite a lot, and they do obviously their circuits and stuff for training, which is obviously nice to see. I'm actually yet to see one of the RAF aircraft, as obviously you don't really find out until the day when there's the on-flight radar if it's actually at the airport. So I'm still waiting to actually do a stream or take some photos of the RAF aircraft, but hopefully we'll I'll be able to do a stream sometime and catch the RAF aircraft at Newcastle. So KLM is meant to leave at 11:40. So let's hope the KLM does leave at 11:40. And we have got a few inbounds. That little private aircraft should be touching down in the next 5 minutes, as it's meant to land at 11:45. So do hang around for that. Seems like they've opened that front door again. Well, not the front one, but like the door on the front now. So I'll zoom in on that. I think we've got a chopper somewhere. I can hear it. Oh, I think it's just there. I think it's the police chopper. Yeah, it is. And that'll just park behind that building, so it'll go away in literally 10 seconds. It'll just be behind that building, and there we are. That was nice to see. Zoom back in on the 2E as we wait for that other aircraft just to touch down in just a few moments. Yeah, I like those aircraft too. As you can see, that one there is obviously one of those aircraft as well, which are nice little planes actually. I quite enjoy watching them. I love just watching the little engines there. And I can see that little aircraft on finals now, so I'll focus in on that in just a second. As soon as he gets a little bit closer, because he looks still quite far out at the minute, but I can see some sort of light in the distance there. And hopefully that green liner will be going out at 10 past 12 for anyone who's just came onto the stream there, an KLM at 11:40, but as of yet, no movement of the KLM aircraft. So if you can hear that noise, it's just me rubbing my gloves on my hands there. Oh, actually, there's quite a lot of people going on that aircraft. It's getting I would say that's a full flight, judging by the people. Hey, that's really nice to see. Yeah, really nice. So I'll zoom in on that little private aircraft just there, which is about to touch down. Sorry about that. Oh, it's not going to focus yet, is it? Yeah, it's just having one of those moments. Sorry for the zooming in and out. Sometimes that helps kind of focus. Why is... oh, man. Sorry about that. I really don't know why it does that. That'll exit at Foxtrot and it'll go to the private hangar. There's Foxtrot just there. Actually, he's gone past Foxtrot. Oh no, he hasn't. Oh, that's a nice aircraft. What's happening with the tripod today? That'll go any second just behind the trees, and then that's where it'll enter the private hangar. And that's the aviation just there, look, the academy where college students go where obviously learn about aviation. And we've got another aircraft on final just now as well, which I'll zoom in on that in just a second. And he's past the tree line. And we've got another aircraft just up there, if you can see the light just in the distance there, but I'll zoom in just a second when he's obviously a lot closer. Maybe it'll focus now. Well, just about anyways. beautiful landing. Ooh. Oh, he's coming all the way at the end as well. That'll be a nice close-up for everyone. Small TUI versus big TUI. I hope he parks beside him. That would be funny. Just so we can get a good look at the size difference. But I don't think he is going to park beside him. That was a shame. Would have been pretty cool if he actually parked beside the Dreamliner just there. Oh. He's probably going to park over there then. Once that TUI goes behind there, I'll have a look at the arrivals, and obviously the aircraft also leaving the airport. So do hang around just for that. As well obviously have the TUI Dreamliner taken off as well, which is scheduled for 12:10. Not sure if that'll be leaving on. Well, it's already kind of late. It was meant to take off at 11 o'clock, but now it says 12:10. But I'm not sure if it'll take off at 12:10. So I'll have another quick look at that. So I'll just focus in on the Dreamliner just while I have a quick check. So British Airways still hasn't left Heathrow yet, so I'm not sure what time British Airways will be inbound. So I'll have to obviously watch that on the flight radar app to see when it leaves Heathrow. And we've got that little private aircraft that came in before. That aircraft is leaving at 12:20, and we've also got the little ATR, which is we've got the ATR leaving at 12:10, and we've also got the TUI Dreamliner leaving at 12:10. So the ATR should leave on time, because it looks like everybody's already boarded the aircraft now. Looks like everyone's boarded the aircraft. We've also got some movement from that Eastern Airways aircraft as well. Hang on, I'll just turn it around. We've got some movement on the Eastern Airways as well, which is just there. He's just put his lights on. Nobody's actually boarded that aircraft, because I've been obviously watching it as well. No one's boarded the aircraft unless people... Oh, he's starting up his engine. So that must be going back to... Well, I don't actually know the answer to that. But I do know that it came in late last night. And I think it probably would have brought the Newcastle players from somewhere, if they had a match somewhere. I don't really follow football that much, but I do know that they do bring the Newcastle players on that aircraft. So we'll follow the Eastern Airways as we wait for the ATR to also leave. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Please do like the stream if you're all enjoying it. We really do appreciate that. The door on that Dreamliner as well, the rear door of the aircraft is also just being closed. So let's hope that does leave at 12:10. So we've got both engines now on the Eastern Airways, so we should be moving in a few minutes. Just for people who are interested in the Dreamliner as well, the rear aircraft door has also been shut, and it looks like people are now actually boarding the aircraft. And wow, it seems like it's actually pretty busy. So it seems like a lot of people are heading off to Bridgetown, because that's where the Dreamliner is actually heading. And we've also got the ATR. I just saw the beacon light on that, so he should be leaving as well pretty soon. So judging by that, we should have some really nice traffic in the next 15 minutes. Don't think anything's happening with the Eastern Airways yet. Let me have a little look. No, he's still there. Aer Lingus. Yeah, Aer Lingus will probably start moving in a second with the ATR. If he does, I'll obviously focus in on him, just whilst he obviously taxis, and then I'll go back on the Eastern Airways, or whichever one moves first. I actually really do like these aircraft, you know, because you don't really see many of them around anymore, really. So when you do, it is quite nice to see them. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in on the stream. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream so far. So I do hang around for the Emirates and the TUI in this Eastern Airways and the Aer Lingus, which is actually on the move. So let's follow Aer Lingus first. As he gets pushed back. Zoom in a little bit on that. Oh, there is an aircraft just there, actually, not entirely sure what it is. Oh, it's just a little prop. Nice little prop there. There it is. Stopped its engines and turned off its lights, so I'm not actually sure if that aircraft is actually going to be leaving or not, because they seem to have stopped the engines now, so I'm not actually sure what's going on there. But I will keep an eye on it, and if there's any movement around the aircraft, I'll obviously focus in on it for everyone to watch. And we've got Aer Lingus on the move now. So we'll follow Aer Lingus. take a right after that. Sorry, I'm just going to leave it there because we'll obviously turn just now, so. To be fair, those trees have actually grown quite a lot. All the branches anyways. Makes the camcorder focusing on the actual branch that's in the way. Sorry about that. Just gonna have a quick look at the Eastern Airways and see if there's actually anything happening around it. Just out of curiosity. No, there's definitely no movement there. So there's the Aer Lingus, so I'll just focus it in on the top of the runway there, just so we can obviously watch them line up. And we'll obviously just keep it here because I've got that little prop aircraft just landing down on the runway as well. Hello and welcome, John. Cheers, mate. I really do appreciate that, so thank you very much. I hope you and everyone's is in, oh well, sorry, yeah, I hope everyone's liking the stream, enjoying it, so thanks again. He'll exit at Foxtrot, so do apologise if my hand's a little bit wobbly sometimes. Do apologise about that. I think there is some movement actually at the Eastern Airways. There's like a little van there. Not sure if people are actually boarding the aircraft. Like, I'll have to have a little look at that in just a second. I'll watch Aer Lingus take off first, and then I'll focus back in on the Eastern Airways to see what's happening. This ATR will be going back to Ireland. Yes, lovely, really nice. Airways over there. Seems like that that van that was just there is now on the move. So we'll just watch the Eastern Airways for a minute or two and just see if anything is happening. So there's nothing happening on that, so I'll focus in on the Dreamliner instead, because that should be leaving pretty soon now, to be honest. But I think there's people still boarding. Yeah, I think they're actually queuing to get on the aircraft. Yeah, so we'll just watch that, unless there's any other movement that happens before then. If anyone knows anyone who's on that flight going to Bridgetown, do obviously show them the stream just so they can see if they can spot themselves on it or not. I mean, they might not, but who knows. If anyone wants to have a look at a certain part of the airport, do just post in the chat, and I'll obviously see if I can focus in on that part of the airport if anyone wants to have a look. So we should have that little private aircraft going out at 12:15, which is pretty soon. And as you can see, we've got people boarding the Dreamliner now. For anyone who's just came onto the stream and joined. I'm not entirely sure what that is on the room. I think they're only letting like a certain amount of people get on, and then another certain amount of people get on, and then another amount, because it seems like they keep holding them after a certain amount of people have boarded the aircraft. Don't know if that's like a normal thing that they do usually. Just got the airfield ops on the runway there. probably doing a little inspection of the birds, I would have thought. Great job. Whoever's driving the vehicle will probably, well, if they ever know about the stream, probably watch it back and think, yeah, I was definitely speeding. Even though he's not speeding, but like, it'd be funny if whoever's driving the vehicle actually watched himself back driving on the runway there. It's always fun to watch them actually. Just as we wait for people to board the aircraft, just something a little bit, well, not the same really. Focus on that for a change. Oh, there's a bird. Right, I'm gonna focus back in on the TV now. Just for the viewers. There we are. So I'll focus on it just there for people to watch. It's actually really nice to see so many people boarding the aircraft, because obviously it just shows that people do actually book to go to Bridgetown here at Newcastle, which is obviously quite nice to see. But they're in for a long flight, and it's already late leaving, as it was meant to leave at about 11 o'clock. But it's alright, because they'll be going away for 14 nights, I think it is, that you have to go for the holiday if you go to Bridgetown. I think you have to go for 14 days. I might be wrong on that one, but I think it is 14 days. And it seems like the tug is already actually attached, so as soon as then people have boarded, they'll probably do a few more checks, and then they'll close the door and remove the stairs, and then hopefully it'll be on its way, and then they can go and enjoy the heat, which would be really nice right now, to be honest, because it's a little bit chilly. Yeah, there's still no movement at the Eastern Airways aircraft, so I'm not entirely sure if that's obviously going to be leaving or not, but yeah, I'm obviously watching it, and there's no movement around it as of yet. So that little private aircraft I was on about just earlier in this stream, they're actually meant to be leaving at about 12:25, which well, I think that's now actually. I think it's 12:25 now. I don't even know what the time is, but I think it is. So that should be leaving pretty soon, along with this Dreamliner. Hopefully they'll close the door like in the next minute. That would be really nice. They'll probably be doing a few checks now on the flight deck just before they do close the doors. Just been for a little wander there, just to see if there was any movement at the private hangar, just because you can get a tiny bit more of a view if you walk along the side bit there, but there's no movement, but hopefully there's going to be movement from this Dreamliner pretty soon. Sorry, I'm just plugging the charger and the camcorder there. Just to give it some quick charge. Right, that's the camcorder plugged in, because I did buy a portable power station. It's got like a plug socket on the back of it, so I can plug like any sort of plug into it, and I can plug a few USB ports, and I can also plug in some audio sources as well, so just for charging, so that is quite useful. And I bought it so I could do obviously longer streams, especially in the summer. I just want to say thanks again to everyone who's watching. I really do appreciate it, as doing streaming like this is something that I've always wanted to obviously do. And then a month ago or two, I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to start me streaming. And then I've obviously started it, and it's nice to see that so many people have been obviously watching the streams, especially in Newcastle. It's quite nice to see, and obviously it's just something that I love doing, so I'm glad that I can obviously bring this live aviation to people like across like the UK and other parts of the world as well. It's always nice to share like airports that people don't really do many streams from, so it's quite nice to kind of showcase Newcastle in a way, because not many people do streams from here, so it's obviously quite nice. I'm assuming they'll be doing the last final checks now, because the crew's been in there for a good few minutes, so I would think they're doing just the final checks before they do close the door. Obviously I don't have a view of the Emirates aircraft, but I am hoping that the Emirates aircraft also leaves on time, because Emirates is meant to leave at about 1 o'clock, but it usually leaves at about 1:15 or just after sometimes. But as it was on time this morning, I'm kind of hoping it does leave at 1 o'clock, because that would be quite nice to obviously also see. But I am excited for the Streamliner going out, because I haven't seen one at Newcastle since last year really. So that's nice. Oh, the door's shut. That means all the checks are complete. and I should start the pushback in the next minute or two then, once the stairs have obviously came away. I think that's the stairs almost off there. I will probably be doing a sunrise stream sometime this week, so it'll be quite an early live stream, and it'll obviously be like during the sunrise, because I think that'll be really nice to watch, the sunrise, and obviously the aircraft landing and taking off with the sun. So I'll be putting a post out about that sometime this week with details about that. So if you have all, so whoever's obviously whoever usually checks the posts, that'll be posted on the channel sometime this week. So that's the stairs now, fully away from the aircraft. So hopefully, once the beacon light comes on, they'll start the pushback. And Trev, thanks for being on the chat. I really do appreciate that as well. So cheers, mate. Thank you. There must be some sort of aircraft flying over the airport quite high up, so I can just hear this. Well, I can just hear the aircraft somewhere flying above. But it's a little bit cloudy, so obviously it'll be way above there. And just want some movement off the TUI. Come on. That little private aircraft must be running a little bit late as well, because that was meant to take off by now as well, and it hasn't. Oh, speaking of that, it's actually on the move. So I can see it just in the distance there. So we'll follow that as that taxis down to runway 25. Where is it? Somewhere behind there. Oh no, it's a little prop, not the one I was on about. But we'll watch it anyways as we wait for Tui. Just realised I was zooming out there. I didn't even realise that. I'll focus it here just where I'll have a quick look in the chat. I'll focus it just there. So that British Airways aircraft, I think it's an EO as well actually, that's actually due in at 1:05, which isn't actually that long away, and hopefully the TUI one's away by then, like, because the doors have been shut off for about 5 minutes or so. There's obviously still no movement yet, so we'll just obviously keep it on that actually, and we'll just watch the Dreamliner. Couldn't quite get my words out there, but got there in the end. Yay. Right, so now that little prop plane moves. I've just changed the angle, but right, as that guy's walking on the outside of the aircraft, I would think he's ready for pushback. So we'll have to wait for that. That prop plane's actually on the runway now. I mean, I might as well put it on the little prop, just because that TUI's beacon isn't on yet, so he mustn't be leaving yet. So we'll just watch this. Let's see if there's a little bit of a... Oh no, lovely takeoff back. Really, really nice. I love that little sound. Yeah. Right. Come on, TUI. We can do it. Please push back. Please push back, please do push back. Let's actually zoom in, see what's happening just there. Come on. Thanks to everyone who's on the stream watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream so far. There's been alright amount of traffic this morning. It's been quite nice actually. Like, hasn't been, well, it has been a little bit quiet, but it's been kind of relaxed and there has still been quite a few aircraft. And for anyone that's just joined the stream, we are just waiting for this Dreamliner to push back to go to Bridgetown. The doors have been shut for about 8 minutes or so now, so we are just waiting for this aircraft to be pushed back, and then it will be on its way. And we've also got Emirates that's meant to leave at 1 o'clock as well. And we've also got a little private aircraft that was meant to leave at 12:25, but that hasn't actually left yet. So hopefully that one will be leaving soon as well. And the beacon is on the TUI aircraft now. As you can see, it just came on. So we'll start the pushback now. And we've also got British Airways inbound at 1:05 as well. So do hang around for that. And I'm just going to zoom out as we wait for the TUI to be pushed back. If you want a close up part of the plane on the pushback, do just comment in the chat there. And I'll obviously see if I can zoom in on it. So we've got the TUI on the move now. For anyone who's joining, who's just joined, sorry, thanks for joining. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone's enjoying the stream. A little bit more there actually, by a little bit. Sorry about that. I thought I would have went in F-frame there, but turns out the wings were still quite long. Just very quickly, we've just got the Emirates aircraft there as well, as you can see. He's meant to leave at 1 o'clock, so now that obviously the TUI's moved, we'll be able to watch the Emirates aircraft and see when the stairs are removed, and then we'll have a rough idea then when it's actually going to be leaving. Those engines sound really nice in the Dreamliner. That's the tug away. just wait for TUI to start taxiing down to runway 25. Hopefully he'll take off before the British Airways lands at 1:05. Kind of hoping he gets to the runway before British Airways is on short finals. He should be. Oh, on the move. He's gonna turn anyways. Yeah. Actually, I didn't actually look at the name on the front of this aircraft. Sorry, just gonna have a quick little look. Dreammaker. Oh. So this Dreamliner is the Dreammaker. For anyone who's just joined the stream, thank you very much for joining. I hope everyone's enjoying the content. And this TUI is off the Bridgetown, which is running a little bit late. It was meant to leave Newcastle at 11 o'clock. And it's actually just leaving now. There's the Emirates Tower just in the background there. Zooming a little bit on that. Ooh. I think everybody's actually boarded the Emirates aircraft as well, but I'm not sure about that, but I think they have. Going to zoom out a little bit. Like that. Hopefully it'll go straight onto the runway and then just do a nice quick takeoff. Hopefully no holding short or anything. So British Airways will also be about 5 minutes out then, because That Neo is also running late, and he's meant to land at about 5 past. Wait, 5 past 1. I think I've got my times a bit mixed up there, to be honest. Yeah, so British Airways is due in pretty soon. I'll have to have another look, because I've actually forgot. Oh. To be fair, it's quite the visibility at the other end of the airport isn't actually that great. I'm just going to zoom out and focusing on the runway just there. Thanks for saying great work. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad everyone's enjoying the stream, so thank you very much for tuning in, and do hang around for the Emirates aircraft. And here's the TUI. Like really quick. So that's the TUI finally off to Bridgetown, and the stairs have also came away from the Emirates aircraft, which is fantastic, because that means that the Emirates aircraft will also be ready to go up as well in the next 5 minutes or so, which looks like it's actually going to be on time, well, roughly. So Emirates will obviously be ready for pushback very soon. I reckon about 5 minutes. Then Emirates will be on the move, and British Airways is about, let us check. Yeah, so British Airways is actually approaching the airport now. So British Airways is about 5 minutes out, which is correct, because it's meant to land at about 5 past 1. And I just looked on flight radar, and it is approaching the airport. So hang around for that, and obviously hang around for Emirates as well. Sorry about that, I was just plugging in the equipment just to charge it a little bit, just in case anyone was wondering what the noise was there. So I'm actually going to focus in. On the runway, because British Airways is going to be approaching very, very soon, in the next 2-3 minutes. So I'm just going to leave it there until I see British Airways appear. To be fair, I've plugged the charger in the camcorder, and I just don't think it's actually charging, which is very weird. To be fair, the charging lights came on, but if I unplug it, it goes to like 20 minutes or something, which is a little bit unusual. So I'll have to see how that plans out. Emirates beacon light hasn't came on yet or anything, so I'll just keep it focused here as we wait for British Airways to arrive. Thanks again for everyone who's on the stream, tuned in. Really do appreciate it. I can see the lights on the Neo, the British Airways Neo, so I'll focus in on that in just a second. and then I think I'm going to have to wrap the stream up there after British Airways lands, as I have to be somewhere for about 1:45, and unfortunately it looks like Emirates hasn't left at 1 o'clock, unfortunately, but we'll see. If he pushes back in the next 3-4 minutes, I'll see if I can obviously stream it. If not, I'll have to finish the stream once British Airways lands. So I'll focus in on British Airways in just a second, as he is getting closer. No, it's not going to focus properly yet. Cheers everyone for posting that in the chat there. I'm glad it's all sorted. Not sure why it does that sometimes, actually, the software, to be honest. It's a little bit frustrating sometimes when it does do it. Right. Trying to zoom in more, but it sometimes struggles to focus when it's down there. Looks nice, doesn't it? A little bit of a crosswind, I think, actually. So that's British Airways landing from Heathrow. Quite late, unfortunately, but it's at least it's eventually landed. So that's the British Airways now at the gate there. So I'm gonna wrap the stream up there because Emirates is running a little bit late, and I've obviously got to be at a place as well. Well, I've got to be somewhere. But I just want to thank everybody who's been on the stream today, whether you're a new viewer or obviously like a regular who comes on the stream. I really do appreciate everyone who's obviously been on the stream. And Trev, thanks for watching the chat, mate. I really do appreciate that. And thanks to everyone as well for just being in the chat as well and just watching the stream. It's been great having you all on the stream today watching. And I'll be doing a stream sometime during the week. And at the weekend at some point as well, which I'll obviously make a post about that in due course. But thanks again everyone for watching, and have a lovely rest of your day, and have a really nice week as well. Cheers.